Okay, today we're going to talk about a different way to solve a system of equations. It's called substitution. What is the substitution method? Well, it's a method of solving equations by substituting equations one within one another. All right, here are the steps to this method. So the first thing you have to do is you have to solve one of the equations, you can pick which one, and isolate x or y. The next step is to substitute the equation you just did into the other one. So you want to substitute this expression into the other equation, and then you need to solve for the variable. Step 3, now you substitute what you got for that one into the revised equation from step 1, and then solve for the other variable. All right, it sounds kind of confusing, but once you see it in action, you'll understand. Okay, so here I have two equations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what y equals in this equation, and I'm going to plug it in for y into the other equation. So I have 4x minus 1 equals 2x minus 5. Now I'm going to solve for x. So I have 2x minus 1 equals negative 5. I'm going to add 1. So I have 2x equals negative 4. Okay, so now I'm going to take what I got for x and plug it into the first one that I haven't used yet. So I have y equals 4 times negative 2 minus 1. So I have negative 8 minus 1. So y is negative 9. So now you have your ordered pair. Make it into an ordered pair, and that is your answer. Okay, let's look at another one. Luckily, we already have y isolated, so we're going to take that 6x, and we are going to plug it in for y into the other equation. So now we have 2x plus 3. Instead of the y, I'm going to put in a 6x equals negative 20. So I have 2x plus 18x equals negative 20. 20x equals negative 20. And when you divide each side by 20, you get a value of x is negative 1. So now we're going to take what we got for x and put it into the equation we didn't use. So we have y equals 6 times negative 1, or y is negative 6. So our ordered, okay, there we go. X is negative 1, and our y coordinate is negative 6. There's our ordered pair. All right. I want you to try number 3 on your own. So when you have solved number 3, your answer is the coordinate negative 7 and 2, those coordinates, that ordered pair. So if you look at number 4, this time x is isolated. It doesn't always have to be y. You just have to make sure you're plugging it into the right place. So we're going to take what x is equal to, and we're going to plug it in for x. So if it says x is equal, you better make sure you're plugging that in for x, not y. So I have 2 times the quantity of 4y plus 7 minus 6y equals 12. So when I distribute, I have 8y plus 14 minus 6y equals 12. I'm going to combine those like terms. So I have 2y plus 14 equals 12. I'm going to subtract 14. So I have 2y equals negative 2. Divide each side by 2, so then I have a y value of negative 1. So now I'm going to take what y is equal to and plug it into the first one for y. Let me find some room here. I have x equals 4 times negative 1 plus 7. So x is positive 3. So I'm going to make them into an ordered pair. Remember, x is always first, y is always second. So my answer is 3, negative 1. All right, so let's get to the point where it's not so easy and you have to isolate the variable. So how do you pick? Well, if you see a variable without a coefficient, like right here, that's where I would go. So let's fix that equation so y is alone. So I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. So now I have y equals negative 2x minus 2. Now I can take what y is equal to and plug it into the other equation where y is. So I have 5x plus 3. Now I'm going to put what y is in parentheses. When I distribute, I get negative 6x minus 6 equals negative 8. Put that together, I have negative x minus 6 equals negative 8. I add 6 to each side, so I have negative x equals negative 2, so x is 2. Now I'm going to take this value, plug it into the first one for x. So I have 2 times 2 plus y equals negative 2. And when I subtract 4 from each side, I have y equals negative 6. So I'm going to put that together in an ordered pair, and that's the solution to my system. So why don't you go ahead and try number 6. Okay, if you solve that correctly, you ended up with the ordered pair 2, 5. If not, go back and check your steps. All right, let's move on to number 7. So I'm going to isolate x by subtracting 5y from each side. So now I have x equals negative 5y plus 4. So I'm going to take what x equals and plug it into the other equation for x. I'm going to distribute, so I have negative 15y plus 15y equals negative 1. Well, that's weird because these cancel out, and 0 is not equal to negative 1. So when it looks like this, your variables are canceled, and whatever is on either side of the equal sign is not equal, you have no solution. Okay, why don't you go ahead and try number 8. Okay, for number 8, you should have gotten the ordered pair 8, negative 2. All right, let's go do number 9. Okay, so I'm going to isolate this y because it's by itself. I'm going to use this equation. So I'm going to subtract 2x from each side. So I have y equals negative 2x plus 18. So I'm going to put that in where y is, make sure it's y. So I have 6x plus 3 times negative 2x plus 18 equals 54. Okay, so I have 6x, and then I'm going to distribute, so I have minus 6x plus 54 equals 54. So when I cancel these out, lo and behold, my variables are gone, and I have the same number on each side of the equal sign. They're equal. So when you see that situation happen, this is the same line. So you have infinite solutions. Anything will work. All right, let's try number 10. I'm going to isolate that x in the first equation by adding 3y to each side. So I have x equals 3y plus 2. I'm going to take what x is equal to, plug it right into the second equation. So I have 10 times 3y plus 2 plus 8y equals negative 20. So I have 30y plus 20 plus 8y equals negative 20. So I'm going to combine these. So I have 38y plus 20 equals negative 20. All right, so let me go back and fix a mistake. This should be minus 20 all along. So this is a minus, and this is a minus. So now when I add 20 to each side, I get 38y equals 0. So divide by 38, y is 0. And that may feel wrong, but 0 is a number, right? So y is 0. We're going to take that y and plug it into the first one. So I have x minus 3 times 0 equals negative 2. So x is negative 2. So my ordered pair is negative 2, 0. Okay, I want you to try the last one. Okay, the answer for this one is the ordered pair negative 1, 5. The only thing you have to be careful is right here. You can't leave that y negative. You got to divide by negative 1 to get what y is equal to. All right, that's it.